Setting the foundation for positive sibling relationships is really important, and one of the best places to start is modeling positive behavior. So children learn by example, and so it's so important for parents to model positive behavior themselves. Encouraging your children to express their thoughts and their feelings, and actually to listen to them without judgment, is really useful. By developing good communication skills, your children will be able to resolve their conflicts far more effectively. So when one of your children achieves a goal or reaches a milestone, celebrate it as a family. Within the Warrior Academy, we call this the golden opportunity. It's a chance for you to reinforce their success so they want to repeat it again. And this can help build a sense of teamwork and unity, but it also reinforces the idea that your children are a team and should actually be supporting each other. Welcome back to another Warrior Academy podcast. I hope you're enjoying these deep dive episodes with me. If you are, please make sure you subscribe so you don't miss another episode. Today, we are going to be speaking about increasing sibling happiness and making sure that our students, our children, get along with each other at home. I'm sure it's going to be a really valuable episode for parents out there who have multiple children and sometimes notice them arguing a little bit at home. So let's get started. So it's going to be quite a practical episode. We're going to be talking about tips for parents to promote positive sibling relationships. So as a parent, you want your children to have strong and healthy relationships with each other. And siblings obviously have a very unique bond that can last a lifetime, but it's not always easy to promote positive interactions between all siblings. And in this episode, I'd like to explore some tips for parents on how to encourage positive sibling relationships. So let's get started. Setting the foundation for positive sibling relationships is really important. And one of the best places to start is modeling positive behavior. So children learn by example. And so it's so important for parents to model positive behavior themselves. And so this means being respectful and kind to your children and to your partner. Avoid using derogatory language, yelling, or being physically aggressive. Instead, try to use kind words and actions to actually show your children how to treat others with respect. The next thing to do is to create opportunities for positive interactions. And so plan activities that siblings can enjoy together. It's a great technique. So this can be as simple as playing a board game or going for a walk. When you encourage your children to work together and praise their efforts and successes, it does make a massive impact. By creating opportunities for positive interactions, you can help your children to build a sense of teamwork and almost a sense of unity at home. The next tip is to teach communication skills. So encouraging your children to express their thoughts and their feelings and actually to listen to them without judgment is really useful. Going back to the mindfulness podcast we did recently is a great place to start. But teaching them how to communicate effectively and respectfully with each other is a really great tip or technique. By developing good communication skills, your children will be able to resolve their conflicts far more effectively. So the next few tips are all going to focus around encouraging cooperation and teamwork. So the first tip within this is to assign joint tasks. So when you assign a joint task like cleaning up or cooking dinner, whatever it is, you can actually encourage cooperation between siblings. And when you do that, just make sure the tasks are age appropriate and that each child has their own specific role to play. By working together, siblings can then learn how to cooperate and support each other. The next tip is to encourage siblings to work together. So when you encourage siblings to work together on projects or activities that actually interest them, that's a really useful tool or tip to help them learn how to compromise and problem solve together. The next tip is to celebrate successes together. So when one of your children achieves a goal or reaches a milestone, celebrate it as a family. Within the Warrior Academy, we call this the golden opportunity. It's a chance for you to reinforce their success so they want to repeat it again. And this can help build a sense of teamwork and unity, but it also reinforces the idea that your children are a team and should actually be supporting each other. So the next few tips are all going to be centered around resolving conflicts between siblings. And so first up within this category is addressing the issue immediately. So when conflicts arise, as they often do between siblings, it's really important to address them straight away. When you listen to each child's perspective without judgment, it really goes a long way to increasing and improving their bond together. encouraging them to express their feelings and avoid taking sides. But by listening to both sides, you can find a more mutually acceptable solution. Next tip here is to encourage each child to express their feelings. So when you encourage children to express their feelings in a safe and respectful way, it can really help them understand each other's perspectives and find a way to resolve conflict. But make sure when you're doing this, you avoid taking sides or assigning blame to one or the other sibling. So within resolving conflict, another tip is to find a mutually acceptable solution. So working with your children to find a solution that actually works for everyone. And that could be as simple as taking turns or finding a compromise. Reinforcing positive behavior by praising them for finding a solution together will also help a lot as well. So the next thing I'd like to talk about is nurturing individual relationships with each of your children. So when you make time for individual interactions, you actually make time for each child to spend one-on-one time with you. And that can be as simple as going for a walk together or doing some arts and crafts together. By nurturing individual relationships, you can help each child feel valued and loved and actually feel less competitive with each other. One of the great ways you can do that is encouraging each child's interests. And so when you encourage each child to pursue their own interests and their own passions, you can really help them build their own self-esteem, confidence, and even their own identity. When you support them in their pursuits and show interest in what they're doing, that has a massive impact on the way in which siblings get along with each other. The next thing to do is to be present and attentive. So when you're spending time with your children, make sure to be present and attentive at all times. And that often means putting your phone away or removing other distractions and really focusing on your child, showing them that they are valued and showing them they're loved by giving them your full attention. And it's amazing just how much children pick up on. If you're not fully present, they will know, they will realize that. When your phone is out while you're meant to be with them, they're realizing that. So it's just really important for us to be consciously aware of our own presence. So now I'd like to run through a few typical questions that we get at the Warrior Academy. And the first up is, how do I prevent sibling rivalry? Sibling rivalry is a natural part of growing up, but there are some steps that parents can take to prevent it from becoming a big problem. You can encourage positive interactions between siblings and avoid comparing them to each other. You can celebrate each other's unique strengths and interests and make sure they each have their own space and belongings. You can encourage cooperation and teamwork, and you can address conflicts between siblings really, really quickly as soon as they arise. Another question we typically get is, what if my children have a significant age gap? How can I manage that relationship and make sure they get along? Well, children with a significant age gap may find it quite challenging to relate to each other. And that's the key issue there, relating to each other. But there are still ways to promote positive sibling relationships, even if there's a big age gap between them. You can encourage the older children to take on more of a mentoring role with younger siblings and provide opportunities for them to spend their time together. You can find activities that both children enjoy and that they can participate in together. And you can create opportunities for positive interactions. The next question we often get asked at the Warrior Academy is, what if my children have different personalities and interests? How can I make sure they get along? Well, each child is obviously unique, and you want to promote now they have their own individual interests. And they've got their own personality. When you encourage each child to pursue their own interests and passions, and you support them in their own pursuits, you'll find their confidence actually increases. So finding activities that both children enjoy and can participate in together and create opportunities for positive interactions really does help improve that sibling bond. When you celebrate each child's unique strengths and interests and avoid comparing them to each other, that also goes a long way to reducing sibling rivalry. So to wrap up this episode, when it comes to promoting positive sibling relationships, it requires a lot of effort. It requires a lot of patience, but it's worth it to see your children build strong and healthy bonds with each other that last them throughout their adult life. By setting the foundation for positive interactions, encouraging cooperation and teamwork, resolving conflicts very quickly when they occur, by nurturing individual relationships, parents can help their children develop lifelong relationships with each other. So remember throughout all of this to model positive behavior. That's how we started this episode, talking about modeling behavior. Try and create opportunities for positive interactions. Teach communication skills for your children. Assign joint tasks and encourage siblings to work together. Try to celebrate their successes as quickly as you can, as soon as they happen as a team, and try and encourage each other to express their feelings. When something does occur, some sort of dispute does occur, try and find mutually acceptable solution and make time for those individual interactions, some one-on-one time with your children. And also at all times, try to be as present and attentive as you can. So that takes us to the end of today's episode. I hope that if you've got children at home who are arguing, or you've got children at home who you would like to improve the bond with each other, so they've got a positive sibling bond and relationship, you've gathered some insights from this. Hopefully there's things that you can take from this that you can apply straight away. Even if you just take 1 or 2 exercises or tips from this and you found them useful, I'm sure it will go a long way to helping your children, your siblings get along together. So until next time, I hope you enjoyed the episode. And as always, make sure you click on subscribe, or make sure you subscribe to our Spotify or our iTunes channels as well. And I'll see you in the next one. I really hope you enjoyed today's Warrior Academy podcast episode. We're going to keep creating these episodes because I know that so many parents find them useful or get insights or get ideas about how to develop their child's character. But it all comes down to the 3 C's: confidence, conduct, and concentration. So if you want to get a deep insight into the levels of confidence your child has, the level of concentration they have, or the level of conduct they have, so that you can actually put a score next to it and then work towards increasing those scores like we do in the Warrior Academy, then I'd love to invite you to fill in the breakthrough area assessment. It takes about 5 minutes of your time, and you will get a personalized PDF report on your child's 3 C's. To access the breakthrough area assessment and find out your child's 3 C's score, all you need to do is go to www.breakthrougharea.com.